Oh, don't mind me. I was just zipping up my new Pluto Alliance merch. Oh man, this thing is so sharp. I love it. I love it. Yeah, this is a little test run me and Justin Williams worked on, and we're gonna try to get it out to the people ASAP. But on that note, we actually had to kick our fourth guest because they said that Pluto was not a planet. And of course, at the office, we all know that's not true. We all do know that Pluto is a planet. So if you're wondering why, we had just a fundamental disagreement on the planetary status of Pluto. So they're Galactic Union. We're Pluto Alliance. They're out of here. But let's get right into it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. This is Around the Blockchain. We come to you Monday through Friday at 5:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with your favorite guests, talking about your favorite topics. Today is no exception. We're going to get right into it. First, on the top right, we have good old MacNCheesy looking good. I like the hat. Is that a new pinker hat, or is just the contrast is a little different?
Might be the contrast today.
Okay. A little bit different than the usual Waldo look that you got going on. Our second guest, didn't think Pluto's a planet. They're out of here. And then CryptoKeeper, who's famous for saying real freedom is feeling the wind on your face. Definitely a new look. Don't adjust your dials. He has been on the show before. I assure you, this is the CryptoKeeper at Debate Crypto on YouTube that we all know and love. But yeah, man, you're looking fresh, liking the dig. And we also have Ben Armstrong. He said cover your Axie. And apparently he can't get out of check. That's what they're saying in the chess circles. I don't know if that's true or not.
Well, I mean, I lost one game, and now everybody's like, "Oh, he's only like the second greatest chess player of all time." But I will come back, and I will win. I will beat Nick Diamandi, just so everybody knows. I always can get out of check.
Number one, is it the girl from Queen's Gambit or Bobby Fischer?
She's a fictional character, so.
Oh, I thought she was real.
And Bobby Fischer is missing.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he's been gone since like the 70s or so. So, yeah. All right. Well, we got some great topics. We're going to be talking about government. Very, very scary statement they're making about crypto. Is this something that we need to be concerned about? We're going to parse through the facts for you. And we have Axie Infinity in Venezuela. Looks like that game is changing lives out there in South America. But before we get into that, it is the lightning round. And before we get into that, I lied, everybody. I'm sorry. I've been gone for so long. I forgot how to do this own show. All right, we're going to get into Market Watch. Let's see. It has been finally some days of green. It was very scary. I was out of town filming some content for NFT Update. And I got to the point, I just had to quit looking at the charts. It was looking pretty scary, looking pretty hectic. But now things have turned around. When you look at this Ethereum pump, we're having a really nice pump here. Binance coin, both of these coins up about 7%. We have Solana up 4%. Cardano just still steadily falling. It's not looking good. XRP holding strong, though, around that 106. Loves to be around the 110 area. Polkadot still finding room to grow, up 5%. Largely flat on the week. Avalanche seems to be the talk of the town. All the new layer one solutions. If we look at some of the top gainers, wow, look at AMP, look at Audius. Wow, 40%, 30%, 20%. Crow, I saw CryptoFace. He said change his name to crypto.com face. I mean, apparently he is onto something there. If we look at some of the top losers, not too bad. I mean, Voyager, Avalanche, just some things like kind of calming down. I mean, Gal is up 200% on the week. Voyager's up 70% on the week. So some of these coins looking pretty good. Ben, are the markets turning around? I mean, was this the buy the dip opportunity? I'm seeing a lot of traders saying that was your chance to buy. What are the markets telling you?
Well, I mean, I'll show my screen here. Toggle screen. Here we go. Let's check it out. Just looking at Market Cipher here. I mean, the fact is that we still are looking. We're still searching for this confirmed green dot on Market Cipher. But I will tell you, it does seem like we might be getting a little turn here. We might possibly be getting, kind of one of these numbers here. So maybe we don't get lower than this line right here, which would give us a large green dot, and maybe we just get a green dot on the momentum wave down. But I mean, the chart is pretty clear here. I mean, we are still on an uptrend. If you want to go back to, the bottom in July, and we're not seeing a lot of manipulation on these dips. We're looking at a very similar dip right now to what we saw right here. And kind of one thing we looked at this morning on the live stream was the fact that this band turned green, or turned gray, excuse me. This EMA ribbon turned gray. We're starting to see that right now. So does that mean that the the dawn is darkest right before the? No, that's not right. The dusk. No. The sky is darkest right before the dawn. That's what they say. So I don't know if they say that or not. But
I've read so many fantasy novels. I couldn't tell if that's the right one or the wrong one. Like there's so many plays on that saying. All right, and chat
before the dawn.
Well, there you go. Chat is saying about CryptoFace, he bought that at 44 cents. Could you just give people a breakdown of that indicator you're using? I mean, it's some pretty good data if you know what to. Yeah, just a heads up where they can buy that.
Yeah, you guys can head on over to bitboycrypto.com/deals, and CryptoFace right there on our deals page has a special code that you guys can use to get a discount on it. I'll show it to you guys here real quick. Actually,
the reason I bring that up is they're saying CryptoFace bought Crow at 44 cents. Right now it's about 90 cents. So I mean, he's looking at a 2x, and he was talking about what Market Cipher had told him. So it is a good tool if you're looking for something to jump into.
If you really want to be smart, I was on a video with Altcoin Daily in March pleading with people to buy Sandbox. So there you go. Sandbox now the number one gain rouse I have Shiba Inu in the entire bull run. So this is our bitboycrypto.com/deals. You guys can scroll right here. We have Market Cipher. You guys, BitBoy Banger 500, get 15% off, or the code 15. Or you get $500 off lifetime subscription with that, and then 15% off a year subscription. We also got this new CoinStats deal people can check out as well, where you can get, I think it's like $6 a month or something like that. That's portfolio tracker that we use. Man, it's feeling chilly in here.
Real quick, back to the charts. This is what the people want to see. They want to see the price action. You were saying get Sandbox. If we look at the chart right here, I got on my screen. Looks like maybe you're saying buy this dip right there. You can see it dip down a little bit, hit about the 20, it hit about a quarter, and now, I mean, look at that chart. That is what we like to see, up and to the right, but I mean, that's way up and way up to the right. So yeah, the nice 20x that you're trying to give the BitSquad there. So we love to see it. But yeah, it is time for the lightning round. Let's get right into it. We're going to be asking a pretty fun question. Probably some different answers, being that one of us already has the Lambo, that is. But we're going to start with you, MacNCheesy. Mac Man, when Lambo?
When Lambo? This is a question that is as old as time, really. This is something that's been written in the scriptures. Hashtag when Lambo. And I think Lambo is hashtag soon. But for me, I don't know if it'll necessarily be a Lambo. I'm kind of a Rolls Royce kind of guy. That's what I would get before the Lambo. So when Lambo, hashtag soon, hashtag Rolls Royce guy.
All right. Sports car, are you going to do like the SUV? What would you do?
I would do sports. I want something that really looks like I'm part of the mafia.
All right. I like to see. All right, CryptoKeeper. When Lambo?
When Lambo? Yeah, for me, it's when Aston Martin. Probably a DBS or a DB12 or 14 or whatever the number they're up to now, because I haven't been actively searching them out, though maybe I should be. I think I'm ultimately thinking that when Lambo is January, maybe February at this point. I don't think we have that much further to go. I think we're going to see a big correction, if you will, and I don't think it's going to be a correction. It's going to be. And
we were talking before the show, and you're very happily married. You're saying how much you love your wife. You wouldn't stop talking about it. We had to shut you up. Now, is with the lady? Would she enjoy the Lambo as well? Would she be okay with that purchase?
Yeah, you know what? She loves anything and everything that I love. We just have, we've just got it together like that. So I appreciate you throwing out the wife love there.
Yeah, you would not stop talking about it.
She will let me buy it. She will let me buy it.
All right, and Ben, I mean, you already have one. So I guess the question for you is, when do you and TJ both have a matching Lambo?
I want to buy an Aventador. TJ says I can buy one when my portfolio hits 9 figures, which could maybe this year. We'll see. I doubt it. But when Bitcoin hits 100K, I'm going to talk him into letting me buy an Aventador. So,
all right, and let's see, Venezuela. Yes, chat is always correct. Manuel, let us know. BJ, Venezuela. It's a little misspelled there.
I can also do whatever I want, though, but I do like to have his input, so I do want to say that.
It's nothing wrong with practicing fiscal responsibility.
I do what I want. Catch me outside.
Maybe. Now, you know, we could always set up something fun for the Christmas party. Maybe some of those big inflatable gloves. Maybe some of those sumo suits. You know, I might jump in the ring with you. All right, well, let's talk about the first topic here. We're going to be talking about the government, the crazy crypto statement. Are they trying to ban it? Will they ever give up? I mean, are they ever going to give us clarity? We never know. Well, we do know. Probably never. So the FDIC, the Federal Board of Governors, and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. That's actually one of the more important ones, the OCC there. So they gathered to study the effects of crypto on stable coins and the impact that it would have on the current banking system, aka their friends, essentially, if we want to get right into it. Now, Austin, I know they're trying to protect, some would say, you know, they're trying to protect the people. Others would say they're trying to protect the banks. Now, when you look at DeFi is in this funny situation where it is trying to help the people and it's going after the banks. So where do you see DeFi landing in as far as the crosshairs of the regulators? Is DeFi going to be safe? Or is DeFi, you know, something that kind of has a target on its back?
It definitely has a target on its back because it is a direct competitor to the banks, which is in direct cahoots with the government. And you can see why they would not want the DeFi to succeed. I mean, look no further than DeFi stable coins earning yield. And even something like Gemini or Coinbase, you can earn yield on stable coins where you will not even be able to do that on a traditional banking system. You are in fractions of a percentage point in these banks. So now, of course, they're going to be worried because people are going to soon catch on to this. They're going to move their money from banks. And now the amount of deposits on those banking systems is going to decrease. And that money is going to flow into DeFi locations where you can actually start earning yield on your stable coin, your US dollar, whatever you want to call it. And so it's a direct competitor to the banks. And although cryptocurrencies, they are an asset, I think a lot of the times you can look at it like a digital asset. So like Bitcoin specifically, that might compete with gold, but these stable coins and these things that have people are storing their money in, it's a direct competitor. So you can see why governments are like, okay, we need to look at this because our banks, which are also our best friends, are in potential in the crossfire of this new technology.
Well, let's just break that down. I mean, I know this is going to be a hard question to answer. And before I get into this, everybody hit that like button. Hit that like button. Let's blast through 1,000 real quick. Now, you know, they're coming after these stable coins. They're coming after, you know, these DeFi platforms. This is something that, you know, a lot of people are worried about. But you kind of mentioned that, you know, people are going to jump over to these stable coins for better yields, you know, better than their bank account. For the investor with more than, say, 50,000, more than 100,000, what percentage of people who don't have crypto exposure you think would make that jump? I mean, is this under 10%, over 10%?
I think the first jump is probably getting into the crypto space, but we're seeing people getting into crypto in droves. So I think that more and more people are going to get into the crypto space. But as you operate businesses, something that you often have to consider is how much cash reserves are you going to hold on your balance sheet. So for example, the incubator business, we hold our cash reserves distributed amongst a number of stable coins so that we can actually earn yield on these stable coins without getting exposure and holding like something like Bitcoin and Ethereum, because this is our operational capital. So people are going to realize from a business side and from a individual side that you can now start earning yield once you get into the crypto space. I think the first step isn't going to be buying like USDC or Tether or something like that, where it is a stable coin. I think the first step is buying Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever it is, but people are doing that. And that's, people are getting into that quickly. And then the second they then realize that their bank account with $1,000, $2,000 can start earning 6, 7, 8% annually, okay, they're going to explore it.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see it, but yeah, I mean, I would like to see people make stable coins at first. Any crypto purchase is a good purchase, but yeah, I believe you're right. For now, it's still typically going to be a meme coin. if not, Bitcoin or Ethereum for sure. All right, well, CryptoKeeper, they released this statement today. It was about 2 pages long. One of the people who worked on it, he was instrumental in the TARP bailout. I think it was Michael Shu. So he did the TARP bailout in 2009. I think that was the Toxic Asset Relief Program or Treasury Asset Relief Program, where it was just a big bailout. And people saw that, that was a bullish signal for the markets. Now, today the markets are up. This was released today. Do you think this had anything to do with the markets? Because one of their goals is to clarify the vocabulary between all the entities, the government entities. Are people seeing this as a bullish signal, do you think, or bear signal, or is this just, most people aren't even aware of what's going on behind the scenes?
I think most people probably aren't truly aware of what's going on behind the scenes, but let's really look at this. I thought part of this was really funny. So I think it's super interesting. In the letter, it calls it the Sprint Initiative. I think what they should have called it was, we missed the bus. Then we tried to stop the bus. Then we realized we couldn't, or we were going to get run over by the bus. So we decided to put in a bus stop initiative. So like what I'm trying to say is that crypto is this vehicle in motion. It's not going to be stopped, right? So once they had that true realization, that it came to, okay, how are we going to capitalize on this as it relates to making money in crypto? And then to do that, they had to get educated in the crypto space. And this is a big part, they had to appear as if they weren't doing it for financial gain, but to protect the general public from the crypto heathens. So it talked about crypto asset custody in there. It talked about actual sales of crypto assets, collateralized loans. It talked about all of that in there, even holding crypto on their balance sheets. Bottom line though, they can slow down this crypto bus, if you want to call it that. But they want to slow it down, not just to get on it. They want to drive the bus. And ultimately, once they realized that this was out of control, they needed to get it under control and get in. And now they're trying to get in the driver's seat is what it looks like.
Yeah, well, we'll see. As chat was saying, who's driving the bus? I mean, everybody wants to grab that wheel. Now, Ben, I'm going to bring it to you for a question for the common man, if you will. This is, they speak in these vague terms, this legalese. It all sounds like mumbo jumbo. So we're asking you to break it down here for the people. So besides, stablecoin staking, what do you think they mean when they say something like they want to provide clarity for ancillary custody services? What does that mean for the common man?
I think what they're trying to say here is that just not everybody can jump into crypto custodianship. So what they're really talking about here is levels of institutional custody. To really put this in the most common way people can understand it is this. If you think that as a bank, you're just going to come and offer all kinds of crypto services, nah, that's not happening. You've got to go through all kinds of hurdles, all kinds of hoops in order to be able to provide custody of crypto assets. Because let's think about this. We had the Liberty pipeline. Is that what it's called? Am I 100% right on that?
I think it's Colonial.
Colonial.
Yeah, Colonial.
The Colonial pipeline, right?
You said it yesterday, and I was like, I think it's Colonial. Yeah.
Liberty, Colonial, it's almost the same thing. Let's be honest here. It's pretty close. The Colonial pipeline.
Too. You're good.
Yeah, thank you. I mentioned on your show, actually.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, you look at an infrastructure that's supposed to have a lot of security, right? And what happened? It got hacked and they shut off the pipeline. It was a big ordeal. They had to pay all this money, supposedly in Bitcoin, to get it turned back on. So banks, when we're talking about digital, when we're talking about things that are digital, things that are interconnected to the internet, things where the entire structure of a crypto is built within a digital environment, do you really trust banks not to jack that up? How many times has a bank accidentally given someone money that they shouldn't have had? It happens all the time. And you're obligated to give that money back. Well, what about when it's on crypto and it's on blockchain? It's not quite as easy to fix the error than if you send it to the wrong place. So I think there definitely is a level of importance here to get this right so that it is harder for banks to get into custody of assets. But here's the real kicker. Here's a real kicker to all of it. The real kicker is this is all a dog and pony show to make sure that the big banks can do it and the little guys won't be able to do it.
There it is.
That's really what this is all about.
Okay, that makes it a little bit. I like that theory. I mean, it sounds accurate compared to what we have seen. When you look at the TARP bailout, for instance, it was the big banks and the big corporations that received that. And even with the past 18 months, a lot of the relief funds was going to very, very large multi-million-dollar corporations. It didn't even need the money, so it would fit with history for sure. But let's get right into correctly spelled Axie in Venezuela now. And of course, we're talking about Axie Infinity, the game that just absolutely blew up. I mean, it's all over. It's one of the top performing coins. I kind of want to look at it right quick. It's AXS, Axie Infinity. If we go to the chart right quick, woo, $137. We were talking about it in the office. I think you can get it for $7 not that long ago. Wow, not even that much. So this is just the year. So yeah, it was the summer lull. We were talking about the summer lull, and it went up. It was around $10. We thought the low was $7. It looks like you could have got it for $3 during this recent summer lull. We're not talking about 2020. We're talking about 2021. And right now it's $137. So congrats to all the people who believed in that project. If you jumped on that early, you were winning the game. So congrats. You got all your little fornicating blobs and you're crushing it. You're killing it. But yeah, their market cap is over 8 billion. Let me look at just right now. Yeah, it's over 8 billion. It's 8.4 billion. Tons of players. The number one country that plays is the Philippines. The number two country is actually Venezuela. And we've talked about Venezuela before. Terrible inflation. Their money machine is just printing and printing and printing. I didn't actually believe the stats that I had where I was talking about their inflation. They had a minimum wage, and they said the minimum wage was $2.50 a month. And then I looked, and it seemed verified. It fluctuates so much. Their currency is so volatile. It's actually very difficult finding accurate stuff with this. But Keeper, have you actually even played Axie Infinity? Have you played any of these play to earn games?
I have played some play to earn games, but I have not played Axie Infinity.
With these play to earn games, I mean, are these games even that good? Have you found one that's like really just blowing you away like a Halo?
Not yet. We're looking at them and really kind of diving deep and waiting for that next level, exactly like you just said, that Halo, that Call of Duty type game. It's coming. They've presented as if Illuvium, I think, is one of them that's coming out that looks to have some fantastic graphics. There are a lot of games that are coming, but the process, as I understand it, of making these games, it takes a ton of time and a ton of money to get them there. So I haven't seen them yet that have been like that.
All right. Well, on that note, so they're not just, there's no killer DApp out there just blowing everybody away. What do you think? We're talking about this in the office, and at NFT NYC, me and Justin saw people think they really everyone loves Axie Infinity. The player growth is just insane. It's never going to stop. That seemed to be the sentiment there. Would you say that people are playing Axie Infinity for pleasure, or are they playing for a sandwich? I mean, if we're just going to be blunt here, is it literally to eat, or is it, it's just a fun thing, and if I can make a couple bucks, I can make a couple bucks?
So I read a couple articles on it. I think that it's like turned into this like philanthropic mission field. So it started off with the Westerners, with us playing this game, ultimately people that understood crypto, and we're trying to make a couple bucks, right? And then things took a little bit of a different turn when these third world developing countries started playing it to actually put food on the table. The problem was exactly what you just said, DZ. $2.50 a month is the minimum wage. So here's the problem: you have to have 3 Axies, as I understand it, to start the game. Well, they're like $300 or $400 a piece. So essentially, what you're asking someone in that area or that region, you're saying, "Hey, look, you need $1,000 to get started." Well, that's like 40 months worth of income. So in steps, why I called it a philanthropic mission field, in steps the scholarships, right? And so ultimately what people are doing is they are letting people over here rent out these Axies. But I think they're doing it like, so as a business owner, I strive to, they're making 30% or so on each of their Axies, right? So I think it started off as a business deal with the guise of, hey, well, I'm going to help people put food on the table as well. As a business owner, I want to make 30% or more off of my employees. That's why it's called business. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's a great thing. I really do. But also don't get it twisted. The way that it was written was almost as if all these people are just trying to do all these great things. Listen, I hope that they are, because I have hope for humanity. But I think ultimately people are looking to make passive income while renting these out or giving these scholarships. And the fact that it helps others is just a huge bonus. That's where
we talked, you're referring to the scholarships. Scholarships is what you call it when you have the Axie Infinity, the avatar. You give it to the people, you give them the in-game assets to play, and they earn, and you get your cut. I remember, it's like you said, they all feel real philanthropic about it. I remember telling the people in NFT NYC, almost everyone I talked to, I said, well, that's great, but the second, you're making $2 an hour playing your game, the second the other game gives them $3 an hour, they're jumping ship. And they looked at me like I was speaking Chinese, or like they didn't believe me. And to me, I was just trying to stress, like, no, this is a sandwich, not a passion for these people. Now, the scholarship program, MacNCheesy, do you think that we could see this, basically take off on other platforms? Is this a good model to, to emulate?
I think there's pros and cons, and CryptoKeeper kind of touched on it, right? We're creating the idea, at least in my eyes, and the beauty of these play to earn games is it's leveling the playing field for everyone across the globe to have a chance at getting some sort of income. So it's like a location agnostic way to generate income through a metaverse or an online environment. Now, the problem here, though, is that something like scholarships, it just goes to the people with the most money. And now, although it might be profitable for them right now in terms of whatever money, let's say it's $2 an hour, as that gets more one-sided and more wealthy people come into the game, they're going to buy the assets that can have cash flowing. So let's say it's 30%. If real estate, you want like a 10% return, that 30% is going to slowly drive down, and it's probably going to then get to a scenario where it's no longer that profitable for these players to actually play the game. And I'm sure the profitability comes into the actual appreciation of the token itself. So it's an interesting mechanism, and I don't necessarily know if this is the answer to try and help in a true philanthropic initiative, because it's really still pay to play. And I'd like to see an initiative where it was really about like working in game and actually enjoying the game to level up, similar to what you do in really any other like MMO game where you're leveling up your character and you can't pay to increase its level. So it's truly about time spent in the game rather than just like getting them to pay who gets the most money. So I think once we establish a game that's effective, fun, and people actually want to enjoy playing it, we can then get to a point where it's this global game that can have some incentives for people that aren't just the most wealthy and can buy the asset and then effectively pawn it on to others to then make more money on top of it.
All right. And all right, let's talk about making money on top of it. Now, Ben, you definitely gave everyone a good call to buy mana. You were on that early. You're on Sandbox early. Some would say, as far as the metaverse goes, you did pretty well as far as predictions and, jumping in on some of these things. Now, people see these gaming coins, Axis, for instance, something may have ballooned just an insane amount of money. Yet people are still feeling a little FOMO. They still feel like, maybe that they missed out. I'm going to bring up the chart one more time just to kind of emphasize this point. I remember when Axie Infinity made this jump. Everybody was saying that was it. That's definitely as high as it could go. Because, we're saying, it went from $3 to 70. And then next thing you know, it just did a whole nother leg up. So what's your strategy or what's your advice when people are looking at these gaming tokens? They don't know if they missed the pump or if there's another pump. You have any general advice for people looking at getting some gaming token exposure?
There's always another pump.
There's always another leg up. Always going up and to the right.
There we go. Good show, guys. Right. Look, here's the thing. When you're looking at these coins, you can cast some general rules across the way you should behave in crypto. Okay. Number one, buy in the red, sell in the green. Okay. Number two, when a project's at an all-time high, it's most likely going to have some retracements. The issue is we've actually seen some coins over this last year that have denied both those rules. Solana being one, Sandbox being one, right now Crypto.com being one. When you look at many of these projects, Axie Infinity, obviously one, Shiba, Dogecoin, these are the outliers. In most cases, if you follow those rules, you're going to do very well, but it's a little more conservative. But you're going to have an opportunity sometimes to take a risk and say, is this a coin that will be able to keep pumping? And you got to look at these play to pay or pay to play games. Do you want to know how I look at these pay to play games?
It has something to do with Madden. No, Madden
my
football.
child.
You bring
football. Yeah. Did you
Got
just
me
put
there.
that together?
Got me there.
Listen, here's the way I look at them. You guys know those surveys you can fill out and you can win $5?
Yeah.
You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, it was a big thing, like in the late 90s and early 2000s. They're still a big thing. Fill out this survey and we'll give you $20. Like, that's kind of what this is, because what would happen is you would go through that and you would realize that you were making like 30 cents an hour. You were not actually making like a real income, okay? So really, these games, you have to look at them in terms of, I think MacNCheesy was making some great points. In the pay-to-play games, or play-to-earn games, excuse me, you have to get games that are really, really good that you're playing, that you're earning money on. And when we look at a lot of these smaller countries like Venezuela and the Philippines, and by smaller, I mean more like economically, not necessarily size or population-wise, a lot of these people are attacking them like as an income. And I don't think over time the play to earn model is really sustainable like that. It's really like for where we're at today in it now, 10, 20 years down the road, maybe possibly. And that's the reason why countries like Philippines and Venezuela are doing it, because they make very small amounts of money. And so, 30 cents, in an hour to them may be significant, right? I don't know what the number that's significant is. But I do think that we do have to have better gameplay for these. And this is what I'm trying to say. I don't see Axie Infinity as explainable. I don't look at it and say, man, obviously this thing was going to rip. Like, that's why none of us, like, we talked about Axie Infinity years ago on this channel. People liked it, but I couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that it's a top 20 coin or whatever it is today. I think it peaked in the top 20 at some point. When we look at something like Sandbox, you look at Metaverse, I think that's much easier to understand how coins can rip through. It's easier to understand how some smart contract platforms can rip through and continue ripping up. But Axie Infinity is still a head scratcher to me, like why it's got so much traction and so much adoption. There's never a point in the history of Axie Infinity where I would have been like, hey, like since it's been going up, that I would have been like, hey, you know what? It's going to 2x next week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen a great opportunity on that chart based upon my value proposition, what Axie Infinity is. So obviously I'm an idiot.
Well, I was looking at it. Yeah, it's ranked 24. And so, yeah, I mean, it is just jumped up way up there. I mean, it's a top 25 coin, and it was just on no one's radar 3 months ago. So when you think of, what it takes to build out a protocol, build out an ecosystem, it is a shocking, jump there for sure. I think
isn't it ultimately DZ and Ben, it comes down to, it happens to be the in thing to do. It's what the cool kids at school are playing, and it catches on because it's like Pokemon originally, and then it takes its next little turn, and then it just goes from there. Isn't that essentially what's happened?
Yeah. And
are the kids in school playing Axie Infinity? Because I can tell you, my kids have no idea what it is.
I don't know. I'm just stating out there that said
in the Philippines, maybe Venezuela, maybe it's like that, but not here. I mean, crypto nerds may know about it, and NFT junkies, but outside of that, I don't think kids are in high school, playing Axie Infinity on their phone while they're eating lunch. And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's going on.
All right. Well, that's all we got time for. I do want to just wrap it up with the A or B question here. You have $100. Do you put it in Axie or Crow? I'm going to lead with you, Mac. Axie or Crow? Where do you put it in?
I'll put it in Crow. I don't think Crow's going anywhere. Axie, the game doesn't seem that fun. Crow is is
Crow's ever
long-term
all right.
investors. So.
Ben, Crow or Axie? You got $100. Which one do you put it in? All right, you murdered it with that answer. And last but not least, CryptoKeeper, Axie or Crow? Where are you putting it?
Yeah, I got to go with Crow as well.
All right, and I got to go with my man Crypto Face. I mean, he said by Crow. I'd get Crow too. So that's all we got time for. But it looks like CryptoKeeper sneaked it away. It was a tight one there, right there at the end. It was like a little spiel at the end, got you over the edge. So also Debate Crypto. Make sure you check out his channel. All the links are going to be in the description. Go ahead, leave us with the parting thought.
No, thank you guys very much for having me on the show. Ben, as always, appreciate it. DZ, make sure you guys are following MacNCheesy. Make sure you're following Ben. Shoot, make sure you're following DZ. And if you want to win an extra $500 and learn something, hey, we're giving away $500 2 days before Christmas on Debate Crypto. So check us out. We just had Ben on there yesterday. Great interview. Love you guys.
Yeah, make sure you check that out. And, you know, have a happy holidays. We won't have the show Thursday and Friday, but we'll be back regular schedule next week. And that's all we got time for today, BitSquad. DC out.